My name is Jessica. I am 28 years old. I live in Arizona, USA. My life with Mark Thompson felt like a beautiful dream for 3 years. We shared a small apartment in Phoenix with a great view of the mountains. Mark worked as a car mechanic, and I am a waitress at a local diner. He always brought me flowers every Friday and called me his lucky charm. We talked about saving money for a house with a big yard for kids. I trusted him more than anyone in the whole world. He was my best friend and my biggest supporter. Our life seemed full of love and simple plans for a happy future together. One sunny afternoon, I needed to use Mark's laptop to print a recipe. My own computer was not working. He always told me his password was the date we first met. I typed in the numbers and the screen opened to his desktop. I saw a folder with a strange name, Project X. I felt a little curious, so I clicked on it. Inside, I found dozens of pictures and a document file. My heart started beating very fast. The pictures showed Mark with a woman I had never seen before. They looked very close and comfortable with each other. I opened the document file, hoping for some kind of explanation. It was a rental agreement for an apartment in a town called Sedona, 2 hours away. The agreement had Mark's full name and signature on it. The lease started over 8 months ago. The name on the agreement next to his was Anna Johnson. She was the woman from the pictures. I also found scanned copies of utility bills with both their names on them. This was not just a secret friendship. He had a second home with this woman. I felt sick to my stomach. I quickly sent the entire Project X folder to my own email address. I closed the laptop and tried to act normal. My hands would not stop shaking. Mark came home later that evening, smiling and holding a pizza. He kissed my cheek and asked about my day. I told him my day was fine. I felt like I was watching myself from far away. How could he lie so icily? How could he live 2 different lives and keep them separate for so long? I went to bed early that night, my mind racing with terrible thoughts. The next day, I called my friend Maria. I told her everything I had found on the computer. She was very shocked and angry for me. She offered to drive with me to Sedona to see the apartment. I needed to see this other life with my own eyes. We drove there the following Saturday. I felt nervous and scared the whole trip. We used the address from the rental agreement. We found a small, pretty complex with green lawns and a swimming pool. It looked like a nice and peaceful place to live. We parked across the street and waited. After about 30 minutes, a car that looked just like Mark's pulled into a parking spot. My heart jumped into my throat. Mark got out of the driver's side. He walked around to the passenger door and opened it. The woman, Anna, stepped out. She was pregnant. Very pregnant. Mark placed his hand gently on her round stomach. He leaned down and kissed her. They looked so happy and in love. They walked inside the building together, his arm around her shoulders. I felt all the air leave my lungs. The sight of his hand on her pregnant belly broke something inside me. This was more than a hidden affair. He was going to be a father. He was building a family with her while he was planning a future with me. I thought about the flowers he brought me last Friday. I thought about the house we wanted to buy. It was all a lie. He was just playing a part when he was with me. His real life. His true commitment was here in this apartment with Anna. I started crying quietly in Maria's car. She held my hand tightly. The drive back to Phoenix was long and quiet. I stared out the window at the desert landscape. I made a firm decision in my heart. I would not confront him. I would not yell or scream. I would not give him a chance to explain away the unexplainable. I knew everything I needed to know. I would simply leave. I would disappear from his life forever. I deserved a love that was honest and true. I would not share my husband or my life with anyone else. My mind felt clear for the first time in days. On Monday, I waited for Mark to leave for work. I had already packed my most important things into boxes. I had asked Maria and her brother to help me move. We quickly loaded my car and her brother's truck with all my belongings. I left behind all the furniture we bought together and the gifts he gave me. I took only my clothes, my books, and my personal items. I placed my wedding ring on the clean kitchen counter. I felt a strong sense of calm. I was taking back control of my own life. I moved into a temporary room at Maria's house. My first step was to find a lawyer. I scheduled an appointment for the next day. I showed the lawyer the email with the Project X folder. I told her about the apartment and the pregnant woman. She said this evidence made our case very strong. She started the divorce papers immediately. I felt a heavy weight lift from my shoulders. I was taking legal steps to officially end this chapter of my life. I was moving forward toward freedom and peace. I found a new apartment in a different part of Phoenix a few weeks later. It was small and simple, but it was all mine. I decorated it with things that made me happy. I did not answer any of Mark's many calls or messages. He even came to the diner where I work, but my manager asked him to leave. I was determined to have no contact with him. His words were all lies, and I was done listening. My silence was my power. It was my way of showing him that his second life was all he had left. It has been for months since I left. The divorce is now final. I spend my free time taking a class at the community college. I want to become a veterinary technician because I love animals. I have reconnected with old friends and I feel like myself again. The pain is still there sometimes, but it gets smaller every day. I do not hate Mark. I feel sorry for him and for the mess he created, but I do not waste my energy thinking about him. I focus on my new goals and my new, truthful life. My story is about strength, not sadness. I discovered a terrible truth and I chose to walk away. I chose my own happiness over his deception. I learned that my heart is stronger than I ever knew. I look forward to someday finding a real love, a love that has no secrets and no second folders on a computer. Until then, I am happy with my own company. I am building a life where I can trust the person I share my home with, because that person is me.